Tash, how did it feel? Your second game, your first start, your first goal. How would you assess it overall?
Pretty happy with all of the things you listed above. Obviously, it would have been nice to keep a clean sheet, but we'll look forward to the next game to try and make sure that happens. Personally, happy with my performance. A few shaky moments, but I think I settled into the game, and ultimately just happy to get the win.
Tasha, congratulations on your first goal, taken not like a centre-back, the way it came on you at the back post. Walk us through that moment and what were you feeling? What were you thinking as you saw the ball ripple the net?
It's probably going to be quite a short answer. Honestly, it was quite blank in my head. I think we worked on, in training, me being in that back pocket. I was there, got on the right side of my defender, and the ball kind of hit my foot and went in. So there's not much more to it than that, really. But it's nice that we practiced it and it ended up being pulled off in the game.
Overall tonight, I guess you've come into this game against a side that wasn't expected to do a lot of attacking against you, but we did see them be a bit more expansive than last year, for instance. How did you find that as a defender, having to stay aware of that threat and transition?
Yeah, I think it's something that's kind of drilled into us as defenders, and also something that Tom's focused on in the last couple of training sessions, making sure, we know we're going to have a lot of possession up the front of the field, but making sure we stay switched on. Like I mentioned, unfortunately, we did concede a goal, and it's something that we'll work on, keeping a clean sheet the next game. But obviously staying switched on as a defender, that's half of our job, to defend the goal and also go forward. So I think I think as a defence, I'm quite happy with our performance, but there's always stuff to work on.
Tash, Tom Samani just spoke wonderfully about you. He gave your dad a bit of a drive-by, said you have everything that he didn't as a player, but also just said you've slotted in the way Claire Hunt did when she first came in. How have you felt you've gone, and what does it mean to have that sort of praise?
No, it's nice. I'm always a lot more confident about my performance than my dad's, but I think being compared to players like Claire Hunt is obviously a large compliment. Claire and I are friends off the field, so it's nice to, I guess, be partners on the field now. It's honestly just a compliment. Yeah.
And a lot of people wouldn't know you've been on a real journey to get to this point with the concussions, the effective retirement. Are you able to just talk us through the journey that you've had to take to get to this pretty incredible point? Yeah,
so I think I retired around the age of 21. Had a pretty hard concussion. I went into full-time working at Deloitte in Canberra, and then I transitioned to the Sydney team. Probably for 2 years, I think I had on and off stints playing at different clubs like Sydney. And then I think I took another break. It's a bit jumbled in my head of the exact timeline. But then coming back last season properly to the Jets for a proper full season, and then again this year, and then obviously being called in. So it's been a long journey, but it's also happened quite quickly.
Natasha, when did the Matildas get onto your timeline? When did you just think, oh, geez, I might be a chance here to get a look at?
It's a good question. I think properly I'd been in chats with Tom probably for the last 3 or 4 months. And we kind of touch base every now and then just to keep tabs on each other, or more him on me. I wasn't really keeping tabs on him, but him more on me. But yeah, I guess for the last couple of months, it's been a bit more serious chats, and then obviously getting the call into this camp.
And how's Mum and Dad been with you joining the national team? And Deloitte, are they in the rearview mirror now? Have you still got a bit of a contract with them just in case?
No, I'm still working full time, so I'll finish this. I think I go on to my next project next Wednesday, so I've given myself 2 days off after this camp. But I'll go back working full time, and I guess just see what happens. Football-wise, I'll see what happens. Would love to obviously get called into another camp, into the next one overseas, but we'll see what happens. Mum and Dad, I think, I think I'd like to say they're proud. I hope they're proud. We've had quite a lot happen in the family over the last couple of weeks while my sister's pregnant, so it's been a big couple of weeks, and I think they're probably just as stoked as I am. Yeah.
One or two questions from
Tasha, just this is your first camp experience, and I know a lot of like the senior Matildas have gone home now, but what's it been like for you working alongside Steph Catley, Ellie Carpenter, Alana Kennedy, these stalwarts of the Matildas that are playing at such heights in Europe? You've come in. What's it been like working alongside them?
I think I said when I got my cap, it's honestly just awesome. Like, I've tried to be just a sponge and soak up all of their experience. Obviously, they're all, I think, over like 100 caps or something. So they're so experienced, and I've been watching them since my dad was involved when I was like 12 or 13. So being able to take the field with them and train with them and be around them in the lunch, when we have lunch and whatever, it's just a really cool experience. And something I think if you told my 12-year-old self, I'd be like, no way. But yeah, it's pretty cool rubbing shoulders with people that you used to look up to, for sure.
Have you learnt anything about yourself as a footballer since you've come in and you're working at such a high level with these high class of players? Like, you get someone like Caitlin Ford running at you in training and you're like, oh, I need to work on this. Or you do something really well and you're like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at that. Like, have you learnt anything about yourself?
I think obviously coming in, it's a super fast, it's a very fast speed compared to what I'm used to. I think I've managed somehow, I don't know whether it looks like it, but in my head, the game slows down even when it's super fast paced. So that's something I'm quite happy with. And then likewise, being able to play quicker is something that I think, well, I hope I take back into the A-League and back to the Jets. So yeah, probably just that ball speed, playing quicker, and I guess thinking quicker as well.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.